there's a new trend or beastly behavior among young black as well as Hispanic men and children, sometimes even adults. And that's to run inside a store like a pack of wolves or hyenas, tear up the store and grab what you want. And because the gun laws are so lax, the owners of these stores can do nothing. A lot of times these are just minimum wage workers who fall back. Why should they put their necks on the line for items that don't belong to them? They're just there making a living, and a meager one at that. But because of a lack of police officers due to political reasons, they can't do what they normally do. The cops' hands are pretty much tied behind their back. Again, because of a lack of police officers.
911, what's your emergency?
They can't do what they normally do. And this breakdown is because of no father in the house. There's no fathers in the house. I mean, the so-called black community is destroyed. The Hispanics had somewhat of a chance, but even that's failing them now. The force and the spirit of Babylon, meaning America, is too strong. You see it. You see these Chinese and other heathens come to this country and they change. They start wearing green, purple, red, blonde hair. They start dressing like whores. The men start to look a bit sweet, if you know what I mean. And there's a breakdown. The total breakdown. And that's what's happening in society today. I personally believe the condition and mindset and mannerism of the youth is a tail sign of what type of country is being managed and lived in today. That's what I believe. If you look at the youth of any country, you better believe it's a reflection on the parents, it's a reflection on the neighborhood, it's a reflection on the society, and at the top, it's a reflection pointed at the government. That's right. That's what I see, and that's what I believe, unless someone can tell me differently. But this country is going to hell, man. And there's no doubt about that. Your kids are being trained to not recognize genders. In other words, there's no male, there's no female. Your children are being trained to believe same-sex unions is okay with God, it's okay with society, it's okay with the human race. In all forms of spirituality, righteousness, and obedience to God is stricken from their minds. And people will train your kids to believe that this is better than being subjected to God or order or upright, righteous structure. Oh, yeah. That's what it is. Don't tell me it isn't. That's exactly what's happening now. Look at this. This happened in a Wawa. I don't know what state it was. It might be New Jersey. I doubt it if it's Jersey. But this is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Kids are just out of control now, man. Just totally out of control. Check it out.
Robbed and ransacked by a teenage mob over the weekend. This video, which appears to be recorded by an employee, is going viral on social media. Police say about 100 juveniles stole items.
100 juveniles, not learning the Bible, not learning how to be businessmen and lawyers and doctors or even philosophers. Just straight up niggly bears running amok. You know, brothers get mad at me when I say I would never want to live in a neighborhood where it's just predominantly so-called Negroes and Hispanics. I got to have at least 40% Edomite, 30% Edomite, even 20% Edomites, meaning so-called white people if I live in a neighborhood. I don't have that now. Don't get twisted, but I'm just saying hypothetically. They're going to tear down your property and your property value will go down. Your cars will be broken into. Graffiti will be everywhere. And trash and dung, meaning doo-doo from pit bulls, will be everywhere. Don't tell me I'm sounding like I'm selling out or I don't know what I'm talking about. I know what I see every day in my hood. I'll pull up behind a car at a red light and trash will just fly out the car. I'll see someone come out of a bodega or a liquor store and just drop garbage 3 feet away from a garbage can. This is why the devil don't want you in his neighborhood. It's not because they're just racists and they're demons. It's because our people have turned into animals. Not all, but a good portion, meaning too many have turned into animals. I know what the hell I see. You tell me the logic in this, or the freedom of this, or the excuse you're going to make. Well, the white man brought them here in slavery. You know, there's a very powerful scripture, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And all you have to do is reflect on the things you don't like being done to you and consider that you shouldn't do it to someone else. I'm talking about black on black or Hispanic on Hispanic or all around. In other words, deep down, we know right from wrong. But nothing matters today. Seems like this was in Philadelphia, a Wawa in Philadelphia. Check it out.
Thousands of dollars worth of damage to a Wawa store in northeastern Philly Saturday night. They say responding officers were able to disperse the teenagers with no injuries reported. Police so far have not made any arrests.
It wouldn't surprise me if they were coming out of school. It would surprise me.
You don't know when your moment's coming, but when it does,
would not surprise me at all. I'm telling you, man, things have changed drastically. Things have changed so drastically. We used to be kings, queens, walked with respect, respected each other. Those days are gone. Long gone are those days. This is why the Most High said, slay utterly old and young and children. The children are infected with a demon. You know what I'm saying is true. You know exactly what I'm saying, and you know it's true. A lot of you might feel away behind what I'm saying. You don't want to live near your own people, not because you hate your people, but because of their behavior. Oh yeah. Because of their behavior. And all the religion in the world is not going to change that. You could pray to white Jesus, it's not going to change a damn thing. If anything, the religions have made us more crazy, if anything. But you could pray to white Jesus and beg the system for reparations. That, you know, that stuff is not going to happen, man. What's going to happen is the sword must come. Now, I know we teach repentance and we try to sway our people back to the Most High, and in certain cases that will come to pass, but you got to bear in mind and face reality that a lot of our people are not going to turn over. A lot of our people, they love the system, they love the wickedness. They were made for evil. In other words, they're playing their part spiritually. And now they're running out of the churches, so the churches don't subdue them. Common sense and reasoning doesn't subdue them. Wickedness is the desire of the average young man, woman, and child. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but you know, like I always say, someone has to play that part. Somebody has to do it. I know it sounds harsh. Imagine a wild animal in your kitchen. And you can't get it out. You try to shoo it away. It doesn't shoo out. It doesn't go away. It just growls right by the door. You can easily walk out the door. It just tears your kitchen apart and just growls. It's a beast. It's an animal. It's not going to respond to any form of kindness or compassion. It's just locked in that mindset. The next step is to what? To shoot it, put it down. That's the judgment of the Most High, man. That's the judgment of the Most High, man. That's what it is, and that's what it's going to be. Most High know. You tell me the Most High don't know us, man. Most High knows us very well. It's almost scary. Check it out. The book of 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter and 8th verse, it says, there shall be a confusion also in many places. See that? And we see that now. The ultimate confusion is the confusion of faces, whereas the Most High has blinded our leaders, blinded the men, women, and children, has blinded even the heathens to just run amok. Whereas our face is supposed to be in the face of the Most High, meaning in the scriptures, in the word. We're supposed to be seeking the face of the Most High, but the Most High has put the confusion of faces, that spirit, on us. The Most High has us broken down, destroyed, and the enemy just has his foot right up our behinds, man. Whereas the Most High says, there shall be a confusion also in many places, and the fire shall be offset out again. And the wild beasts shall change their places, and menstruous women, meaning women who are able to bear children, women who are able to have children, whether with a husband or without a husband. The Lord said, menstruous women shall bring forth monsters. And that's what you have out here today. You have monsters that swarm the bus when the school lets out at 3 o'clock. Monsters who have no respect for the elderly swarming the trains at 3 o'clock when they get out of school. Monsters running inside the Dunkin' Donuts without any respect, loud, disrespectful, beastly, in the Dunkin' Donuts, in the bodega, buying candy and junk food on their way home after school. Monsters. The Lord said, menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, and that's what you have among us today. A lot of your children are beasts and monsters who hit old ladies over the heads and rape and steal, and in certain cases, murder. The music that's produced for the youth today creates monsters. You live in a generation where the adults, meaning the mother and father, listen to the same type of music as their children about shooting, killing, flossing, getting money, stealing money, getting jewelry, stealing jewelry, tattoos, hoes. The children and the parents listen to the same type of music, wear the same type of hairstyles, wear the same type of clothing, wear the same type of sneakers. Grown men wearing sneakers instead of shoes and going to work and competing with the heathens in a business-like fashion. Grown men with 10 pair of sneakers and no pair or maybe one pair of dress shoes that they don't wear at all. No suits. No slacks. Women coming out with tons of makeup, eyelashes, 3 inches long, fingernails like a bird or an eagle with different colors and fake diamonds in them, and bonnets, and grown men wearing saggy pants and do-rags and fitted hats, 35 years old and still wearing fitted hats. Menstruous women shall bring forth monsters, the Lord said. Monsters. That's exactly what you have out here, a bunch of monsters. The Most High said he would slay utterly old and young, children, maids. Most High has to bring fire and the death angels to wipe out not just the adults, but the youth as well. But the youth as well. I think that's a good thing. Whether it's my children or your children, if it's the judgment of the Most High, it's the judgment of the Most High. I pray it's not. I pray it's not. These things we can't ignore or escape. Check this one out. Not going to be long. I got to get out of here. The Most High says in Proverbs 30, verse 11, it says, there's a generation that curses their father and does not bless their mother. There's a generation that curses their father and does not bless their mother. I wonder what generation is that? Was it a generation in the 50s? I doubt that. Even the devil, his children didn't do that. Not as much as they do today. You might have had certain cases, but on a minute level in this country. What about the 40s? Did the children behave the way they do today in the 40s? How about the 60s? You had a lot of riots in the streets back then. You had drugs. The drug addicts. The stick-up kids. The drug dealers. The music, was it the same in the 60s as it is today? Was it just as bad? The Lord said there's no new thing under the sun. I think it's a lot worse now. I think teenage pregnancy is a lot worse today than it was in the 60s, 70s, 50s. I think drug addiction was a lot different in the 50s, 60s, and 70s compared to what it is now. I think the lack of respect or the disrespect was on a much higher, is on a much higher level in 2022 than it was in the 60s, 50s, 40s, even 70s. I think the elderly were much more reserved and spoke with wisdom in the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, whereas you have old, elderly seniors today who are just as disrespectful as the youth today. This is the time we are in now. This is the season we are in now. This is why the Most High needs to bring not just death on the heathens, but death on us as a people as well. 12th verse says, there is a generation that are pure, meaning upright and righteous and clean in their own eyes, meaning in their own spirit, and yet is not washed from their filthiness. See that? Yet not washed in their filthiness. There's a generation, oh, how lofty are their eyes, and their eyelids are lifted up, meaning these are some proud little bees, if you know what I'm talking about. Proud and disrespectful, can't be told anything, don't want to learn anything. If it feels good, that's what's cool. If it looks good, that's what's cool. But all these things that feel good and look good are outside of the Most High. It's outside of the Most High. The heartbeat of America. Hey, America has lost all her moral fibers, man. Fabric, I guess it's called. All America's fabric and her hot dogs and apple pie days are gone. The youth today don't even join the military. They used to be proud to join the military. They used to salute their fathers, and their fathers used to salute their fathers, and so on and so forth. It was a proud thing to be in the armed forces. Now it's a joke. They see, the ones who are smart, they see just how corrupt this country is. They see it. 14 verse says, there's a generation whose teeth are as swords. You mess with these young brothers today. You mess with these young sisters today. They will kill you, man. They will jump on you and they will kill you. You tell one of these teenage mothers who don't know what the hell they're doing with their children. Some of them have children at 14, 15, and 16 years old. You try to tell them how to speak to their children or to calm down if they beating the hell out of their children. You see them on the train and on the bus talking to children like they're grown adults. Like the child's a grown adult. And sometimes the child talks back like he or she is a grown adult. But a lot of disrespect is in the exchange, and you try to correct that behavior. They will curse you out and may even put hands on you. 14 verse again, it says, there's a generation whose teeth are as swords and their jaw teeth as knives, to devour the poor. To devour the poor from off the earth. You see that? To devour the poor from off the earth and the needy from among men. You see that? This is what we live amongst today. This is what it is today. This is the reality of the world today. Stop lying to yourselves and see reality. See the reality of what's going on, because this is not going away, man. This ain't going away. The curse is not just on the adults, it's on the youth. And sadly to say, the youth will become your enemy to an extent. Meaning, in other words, you'll not only be protecting yourself from adults or the heathens, but there'll be a time where you'll have to protect yourself against the youth as well. These are not nice times. These are not humble times. These are not times to be proud of. These are terrible, terrible times we're in today. I have a lot of women in my line of work, and you can see how worn down they are. A lot of these women with children working these jobs, they don't want to work these jobs. They would rather be home taking care of children than having a husband to provide. They'll deny it because they got a feminist demon on them. They'll deny it, but look at them. Look at the women police officers and firefighters and bus drivers and train conductors. You really think that they're comfortable with that? This is why you don't see them doing 60-hour shifts and 80-hour shifts like a man. They say that's why men die quicker than women, because they work so hard. There's so much pressure on them. But now if a woman takes the job of a man, there's pressure on her. She starts to break down. A lot of these women on jobs that pertain or relate or usually employ men, a lot of these women start to look like trannies. They start to look butch-like and man-like. They cut their hair and they're rough and brutal because they put themselves in a man-like position. But that's part of the beast. That's part of serving captivity in the beast. The scripture says, knowledge and wisdom shall be the stability of thy times. We are in rough times. And in rough times, you have to be spiritual to ride and serve the beast. So a single woman who's even in the Most High, it's going to be very difficult for you to serve and ride in the beast. When I say serve the beast, I mean obey the powers that be. Romans 13. It's very difficult if you're not spiritual to manage the two. That's the reality. So next time you want to train and you see demonic behavior from the children, verbal garbage or feces coming out of the children's mouths, and when you look at their dry, ashy face and their dry hair that's not kept up right, remember that they're in captivity just like you. And when the Most High's death angels roam this earth, or when that hellfire comes when Jesus comes back, the Most High sends his son back, a lot of children are going to die too. A hell of a lot of children, they're going to die too. Keep that in mind. And remember, the curses are on them too. Just like the curses are on the adults, the curses are on them as well.